Welcome back, guys, to another episode of the Rap and Wrestle podcast. You know me, I'm Derek Gamble. You can check out the Rap and Wrestle podcast on iTunes, on YouTube, at Rap and Wrestle. You can follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, search at Rap and Wrestle. Today is a very special day. Today we're doing something very interesting, something very cool, hopefully innovative, and I hope you guys enjoy it. We're doing the RapnWrestle Championship Tournament. It's going to be fun, interesting. Basically, we got teams of singers or rappers teamed up with wrestlers, and we're going to go through this whole tournament till we get the first ever RapnWrestle Championship winner. Now, to do that, can't do that by myself, so I need some help. I called in some backup for me, two people that I trust and have been doing some great things on their own with their own individual projects. First, we got Stephanie Hardy of the Hardy Wrestling Podcast, someone who has come onto the scene. She has just been doing amazing work, and I really enjoyed listening to her show. Stephanie, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. This is going to be cool.
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely glad to have you here. We worked together on a couple things, and now I get to have you on my show and, steal you away from all the other things we're doing. It's also got my boy, Kevin Ramirez, a.k.a. Kevin Kev, from the Starter Tab podcast, helped me out on my inaugural show, my first show that blasted off the Rap and Wrestle podcast. Welcome back again, Kevin. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing fantastic. So happy to be back and so happy to be part of your inaugural championship tournament.
Yeah,
Just
man.
Be the inaugural one.
Yeah, no, definitely. Definitely. So now I already know there's a mix of some pretty talented rappers, some pretty talented wrestlers. There's 64 teams total. So before everyone goes nuts about people who weren't included in this tournament, I just want you to know it was only 64. So it's just a random 64 people. I know there's going to be people that are missing that people are going to go crazy about, but we got what we got right now. We got our 64 teams. I know there's going to be some people missing and some people saying you should have included this person. I tried to do a mix of young guys as well as older guys, young women as well as older women as well, just to make it pretty interesting and mix up these teams. I was telling Steph, I was telling Kev, it's just random teams. 64 people, I just randomly matched them up and just generated them into this amazing tournament that we got going on. That's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun. And, you guys ready to get into it?
Definitely. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
All right. So this is what we're going to do. We got our first matchup. We're each going to vote on these. Everybody gets one vote, obviously. Whoever wins advances to the next round. So we're going to go through the first round today. We're going to break this up. This is going to be one episode since there's so many great teams. We're going to go through the whole first round today, and we're going to get this going. So our first matchup, we got someone that's he's new on the scene. He's been doing pretty good. We got Roddy Ricch, and we got Brock Lesnar, the beast incarnate Brock Lesnar. And they're going up against Fabulous and the one and only Rob Van Dam. Let's start with Stephanie. Look, that's a tough one already, right? Let's go with Stephanie. Who you got in this one? Roddy Ricch and Brock Lesnar, or Fabulous and Rob Van Dam?
I say that maybe Fabulous and RVD would put up a good fight, but in that case, I'm just gonna go with Roddy Ricch and Brock Lesnar because those are like two heavyweights. Like they're just really. There's just too much power there. So I'm choosing Roddy Ricch and Brock Lesnar.
Okay, so look at that. We got one vote for Roddy Ricch and Brock Lesnar. Going to move it over to Kevin. Now, tell me, Kevin, what are you looking at in this matchup and who you got going on to the next round?
Mr. RVD with FABOLOUS.
I like how you broke that down right there. Fab and Rob Van Dam. Oh, man, see?
Yeah, like I the catalog on Fabulous alone. And, I love, Roddy Ricch, I get it, and Brock, it's the beast. Like, he's box office, he's tickets, no matter what. you're hyped to see him, even though he's gonna do the same moves. But you know, RVD Fab. I'm sorry.
Got you. All right.
So the first one, deciding factor.
Deciding factor, yeah, it's out me, right? I should put the pressure on myself first, right? All right, see, with this one, I think I'm gonna go with Fabulous and Rob Van Dam too, man. I love Brock Lesnar. I think his name alone holds the weight for the whole team of him and Roddy Ricch. But when it comes down, RVD is a true legend as well, and I just think Fabulous, like you said, his catalog it just outdoes Roddy Ricch. Roddy Ricch is now, but Fabulous is the past, and he's still now. And same thing with Rob Van Dam. He was the past, and he's still now. So, unfortunately, Steph, I got to go against you on this one. We got to go Fab and Rob Van Dam on this one. And they're going to go on to the next round. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. That's an upset right there. It's pretty interesting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, see? All right, so here we go. We got another tough one for you guys. Next up, we're going to have the team of Jay-Z, Mr. Rockefeller himself, Rock Nation, him and Batista. What a team that is right there. And They're going to be it's tough, right? Taking on Ludacris and taking on Bailey. Bailey is his partner. Bailey and Ludacris, Jay-Z and Batista. Kevin, this time I'll start with you. Who do you got on this one?
You did not make this easy. Oof.
No, I did not make this easy.
I love Luda. I love Bailey. You know, be a hugger, you know, throw them both. But gotta represent The Rock.
Got you.
Greatest rapper alive right now. And Batista, the animal. That's my pick. I'm going Hove and Batista.
I can't argue with you on that one, man. Steph, what do you got on this one?
This is kind of hard.
See, Steph is from the South, man. She's worried about Ludacris. That's why she's like, oh man, I got rep for my peoples, man.
Oh my gosh, because it's like now when I think about Bailey, I just can't help but think about how vicious she's become now, and how even more vicious she's become even as of Friday. So it's just kind of, it's like her, and then you have Ludacris, and there's that South connection. And I feel like a lot of people sort of sleep on him a little bit, and I don't know why. But then you have Jay-Z and Batista too. So, oh man, yeah, I'm just gonna go with Ludacris and Bailey. Ludacris.
Oh, here we go, another deciding vote.
That's a tough one. See, next one, I'm switching this up. I'm not going last, so I gotta be deciding back. Oh boy, you see.
Down to you, Derek.
This is another tough one as well. Cause
hold on, time out. Yo, Steph, I love your earrings. I just saw them. Love them.
Yeah, it's Wakanda.
I love them.
Wakanda forever. Kevin is a big Marvel fan, big comics fan. That's what his podcast started. Tab. That's what they did. They talked about movies and shows and stuff like that. So it's definitely a great show. See, you guys becoming friends already. I like that.
Yeah.
See, all right. So back to this. See, you guys took the pressure off a little bit, but oh man, I mean, I just think with this, it's just Jay-Z himself. He's just such a larger than life figure. I feel like that's what kind of sways me more in this. Ludacris, I love Ludacris. I think just like you said, Steph, people sleep on Ludacris like he's not one of the best rappers like that ever rap, period. And Bailey, I love her. She's amazing. If I'm looking at the wrestlers, I think that's tough too. That's a tough matchup, woman and guy. But I got to go against you again, Steph. I got to go Jay-Z and Batista, man. Jay-Z and Batista got to go into the next round. That's a tough matchup right there. Oh, my goodness. All right, this time I'm going first on this one. I'm not going last. All right, man. This is going to get real interesting right here. All right, we got Eddie Guerrero and Ice Cube on one tag team, and we got Kurt Angle and Queen Latifah on the other team. Who you guys taking on this one? I'm going to go first on this one. This is tough, but I think if I got to go, I think Eddie and Kurt, they're both great. But I think I got to go with the West Coast on this one. I got to go Eddie Guerrero and Ice Cube. I got to give them the vote on this one to beat Kurt Angle and Queen Latifah. And let's see. Let's go to Steph. We'll go ladies first. Steph, who you got on this one?
I think it's so funny you said ladies first, and that's a Queen Latifah song.
See that? No pun intended.
Yeah, but I just thought that was interesting. That's one of my favorite songs. But I think I'll choose Eddie Guerrero and Ice Cube as well.
Oh, Eddie Guerrero, Ice Cube. I like that.
Yes, I'll choose them because you just can't go wrong. You just can't go wrong with West Coast rap. That's some of my favorite rap is from the West Coast. So yeah, I'll definitely go with them.
Can't argue with you on that. See, they're already advancing to the next round. But Kev, we gotta see, is it gonna be
a clean sweep? It's a clean sweep.
Okay, you want Eddie and Ice Cube as well, right?
Yeah, it's a clean sweep. Oof.
Perfect. All right, so we got them moving on to the next round. All right, this is interesting right here. We got Lil Uzi, one of the leaders of the new school, him and the one and only Roddy Piper, and they're gonna go against Logic, who is an amazing lyricist, and his tag team partner of the Macho Man. So Lil Uzi, Roddy Piper, taking on Logic and the Macho Man. Let's go, Kevin, this time. Kevin, who you got on this one?
I love Roddy Piper. Trust Free Watch. I can't believe I'm blanking on the name of the movie. They Live. I Trust Free Watch the other day. Little Uzi Vert. Yeah, he's got some bangers, but Logic on a lyric, like, he doesn't even come close. Like, Little Uzi Vert does not come close to Logic. And the Macho Man was so ahead of his time as far as character work, in-ring work, and the psychology of wrestling. You know, from the Mega Powers imploding to making people cry when he reunited with Miss Elizabeth. So I'm going with Logic and, ooh, yeah, the Macho Man.
Macho Man. I don't blame you on that one. Let's see, Steph. Who you got? Who you going with on this one?
I'm agreeing with Kevin because I'm not really as familiar with Lil Uzi Vert like that, but I don't want to on Roddy Piper either. But I'm definitely going with Macho Man. Yeah, that's the one. I agree with you.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a clean sweep on that one too. I'll go with like you said,
Logic. 2 close ones.
Yeah, I think I just say Logic. He just got his verses are just way better than Lil Uzi, and I mean Macho Man and Roddy Piper is like that's like I feel like that's as even as it's gonna get in this tournament with two amazing wrestlers like that. All right, here goes another interesting one. All of these are gonna be interesting. We got Nicki Minaj teaming up with Edge, and you got them taking on DMX and Coco Beware. Steph, who you got on that one?
Ooh. Ooh.
That's a tough one. That's a real tough one.
I'd say Nicki Minaj and Ed.
Yeah, I ain't gonna argue with you on that one. Nicki Minaj and Edge, you like them? That's a tough one, I know.
Yeah, it is a tough one, but I'm definitely going with Nicki Minaj and Edge with that one.
Okay, all right. Let's see. Me, if I gotta go with this too, I think I'm going with Nicki Minaj and Edge too on this one. Nicki Minaj is one of the greatest female rappers of all time. Say what you want. And Edge is one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. DMX and Coco Beware, that's a great team too. But I just think when you break it down, you look at the star power, who has more attraction, more skill. I think we just got to go with Nicki Minaj and Edge on this one. Kev, who you got on this one?
I'm going to agree with both you and Steph, so I'm going to go with Nicki and Edge. That was a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
That was tough for me.
Yeah, that's tough. You got to go against DMX, man. That's tough. All right, here we go. Next matchup. We got Redman and Kevin Nash teaming up, and they're taking on Scarface and Becky Lynch. So let's go Kevin on this one first. Just because you made that face, I'll go to you first. Who do you got on this one?
We're from Jersey. We should by default just say red.
Yeah. Oh.
But Scarface is one of the best rappers that came out of the South. And then you partner him with the man, Becky Lynch. But Kevin Nash, I think Kevin Nash is so underrated. He's been so influential in the grand scheme of wrestling, from the NWO to the Wolfpack. I mean, everybody's still throwing up signs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Red is awesome, but Red is always better with math. I'm going Scarface and Becky Lynch. I'm sorry. Sorry, Jersey. I'm sorry, New Jersey.
You let Jersey down.
Let him down.
It's all good. It's all good. See that? Look, Stephanie was sticking to the South with Ludacris over Jay-Z. And you couldn't pick Redman over Scarf. Look at that, man. You see that? No loyalty. No loyalty at all. Oh, man. Steph, who you got in this one? Who you picking?
I agree with him and choosing Scarface and Becky Lynch. You just can't go wrong with the man. You can't go wrong with the man. And then with Scarface, he's just a good storyteller. So I'll go with with Scarface and Becky.
See, I got you on that. So look, Scarface and Becky already going to the next round. So I'm gonna pick Redman and Kevin Nash because I'm a rep for Jersey. I'm gonna give them the one vote to Redman and Kevin Nash. But either way, Scarface and Becky Lynch, they still go on to the next round. Look at that. Look at this one right here. LL Cool J teamed up with Chris Jericho, taking on Lil Wayne and Goldberg. So you got LL Cool J and Chris Jericho against Lil Wayne and Goldberg. Let's see. I'll take the first hit on this one. This is tough. Chris Jericho, arguably the best wrestler alive, going against Lil Wayne, who's arguably the best rapper alive. And then you got LL, who's just great. Goldberg, he's Goldberg. Old Goldberg was great. This Goldberg, not so much. I just think I gotta go with LL Cool J and Chris Jericho on this one. I'm gonna give them the vote. I'm gonna go with LL Cool J on this one. Steph, who you got on this one?
I got Jericho and LL Cool J for like you, I do believe that Chris Jericho is one of the best wrestlers who's always really good at reinventing himself, with the times and all of the above. He's always remained relevant, and his wrestling ability is top-notch in comparison to Goldberg's. And just LL Cool J, because he's classic and you just can't ever go wrong with him. And as much as I respect Lil Wayne, and even though he is from the South, I don't think he's the best rapper alive.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. LL Cool J and Jericho.
This is coming from the South. That Lil Wayne is not the best rapper alive. Kev, who you got on this one?
It's a tough one. I do agree with Steph on a lot of points. I think Chris Jericho is actually doing the best work he's ever done as Le Champion on AEW. Lil Wayne is one of the best rappers alive.
Yeah.
LL Cool J, I mean, he's timeless.
Thanks.
And Goldberg is timeless too. And you know what? Yeah, Goldberg has always been a very limited performer, but Goldberg, he's kind of like in that Brock Lesnar. Even though Brock Lesnar is more talented, he's in that range where he puts butts in the seat. Like, he has that it factor. Like, he came back to Survivor Series, pinned Brock Lesnar in about 90 seconds.
Yeah.
But Chris Jericho has this eternal youth, and it's just moving the needle. And I'm riding with the Demo King. I'm riding with Y2J, the champion. I'm riding with him and Uncle L.
That's a clean sweep on that one. Thought that one would be tougher. See? All right. Now, I know it just gets tougher every time I say another team. Now we got KRS-One. We got him teamed up with Bruno Sammartino, and they're going against Andre 3000 and Daniel Bryan. Who do you think? Who you got? I'll go to Steph first on this one. Who you got, Steph?
Lord have mercy. Oh, okay. See, that makes me feel weird because Bruno Sammartino, that's an OG legend right there.
Yeah.
And so is KRS-One.
Yeah.
But I think Andre 3000 is my love. That is my he's my first rap love right there. Oh, God. And Daniel Bryan is everything. He's an overcomer. He's all of that. I'm just going to go with Andre 3000 and Daniel Bryan.
Oh, man. I like that. I like that. Kev, who you going with on this one? KRS-One, Bruno Sammartino, Andre 3000, Daniel Bryan. Which team you going with?
What's better than being cool? What's better than being cool, Derek? Ice cold. We're going Andre 3K and Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, okay. Andre 3K and Daniel Bryan. Look, already got him going to the next round. I'm going to agree with you guys on that one, too. I just love Andre. You know, no disrespect to the OGs, you know, KRS-One, Bruno Sammartino, both. But I just think when I'm looking at both of them, I think I'm going Andre 3000 over KRS-One, and I'm going Daniel Bryan over Bruno Sammartino. So that's that. They're going on to the next round. All right. So let's see. Next matchup, we got repping for the ladies. We got Lauryn Hill and we got Gail Kim, and they're going up against Mos Def and Kofi Kingston. Kev, who you got on this one?
Mos Def and Kofi.
Yeah.
It's easy.
Mos
It's
Def
easy
and
for
Kofi.
me. I think Lauryn Hill came out with one amazing album and just disappeared. And Mos Def, he's been in the game. He's put out stuff. He hasn't really done much since. And then how you going to argue Kofi Mania?
Can't argue with that. Can't argue with that. I'll give you that one. I'll take it. Steph, who you got on this one?
This is hard because I love Lauryn Hill, and yes, like she did have that one album, but then I wonder if you could count in her work with the Fugees, maybe. Because she did most of her rapping and then some with them, and then she did more of the singing on her own. But
Yeah, that's tough.
But then you have Kofi, and then you got Gail Kim. It's like everything Gail Kim did, you know, during the time in which she did it was always revolutionary.
Yeah.
And Kofi is my heart too. Oh my God. Y'all make all these people I love in my heart.
That's right. I think Derek is just testing us.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
And I love Mos Def too. Oh. You know, I think I'm just gonna choose Lauryn Hill and Gail Kim. Yeah.
Oh, Lauryn Hill and Gail Kim. All right. That's 1-1 tiebreaker right here. Oh man, I think just like you said, Lauryn Hill, I think she's great. She did a lot of great stuff with the Fugees. And then, you know, she had that great album, even though you can say, one album, but that album, Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, is amazing. That's one of the best albums in history. Gail Kim, like you said, Gail Kim was like way ahead of her time. And, you know, I don't think she gets enough credit for, you know, changing wrestling and for women especially. She was one of those leaders of the women's revolution before there was a women's revolution.
Right.
Mos Def is Mos Def, man. He's one of the best ever. And then it's Kofi too. Kofi is just, how can you not like Kofi? They just go on forever. But I mean, just looking at the impact, I think I'm gonna have to go with Lauryn Hill and Gail Kim on this. I gotta rep for the women, man. I gotta give it to them because I just think both of them what they meant to women in both of their professions separately, I think was just such a big thing compared to, you know, Mos Def and Kofi Kingston. And I love those two too. That hurts for me to actually have to choose between these two. That was a tough one. Lauryn Hill, Gail Kim going on to the next round, repping for the ladies. Our next match, we got Big Sean and Dusty Rhodes going against Joyner Lucas and Hulk Hogan. So you got two of the young guys with two of the older guys teaming up, taking on each other. Let's go Kevin on this one. Kevin, who you got first on this one?
This one's probably one of the more controversial ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Terry,
Yes.
What Hulk Hogan. All right, if we look at it as Hulk Hogan and not Terry Bonella, whatever his last name is.
Yeah.
He is he's sports entertainment. He is. If it wasn't for Hulkamania running wild, there'd be no WWF. If he didn't turn heel, there'd be no NWO, WCW, and actually, in hindsight, there'd be no Bullet Club.
Yeah.
This.
Yeah.
And the Andre the Giant slamming moment. I mean, but Dusty Rhodes is no Dusty Rhodes. There's no Ric Flair. There's no Ric Flair. There's no Shawn Michaels. There's no Dwayne The Rock Johnson. And if there's no Dusty Rhodes, there's no Cody. There's no AEW. There's no Goldust. There's no Dustin.
Yeah.
As far as the artists, I've seen Big Sean live multiple times.
Oh, you're so lucky.
Huh?
Yeah.
You're lucky.
Oh, thanks. Great show. Whenever we're out of COVID and he gets, people get back to touring, I'd recommend you check him out. Ooh, this is hard. This is tough.
This is a tough
I'm
one.
gonna have to go with Big Sean and Dusty Rhodes.
Big Sean and Dusty. All right, I give you that. You made some good points on that one for sure. Let's see. Let's see, Steph. Who you going with on this one?
I'm going with Big Sean and Dusty Rhodes because even just this past weekend, Big Sean has impressed me with his Detroit 2 album. And then my other favorite album from him is Dark Sky Paradise. I love, love everything Big Sean has to give in terms of music. I love him. And and then it's so funny that Kevin was talking about, all of Dusty Rhodes' contribution. Like, the one that I find the most, that I relate the most to is his contributions to NXT, because if it weren't really, NXT as it exists now wouldn't necessarily be that much of a thing either, because he fed so much into the future of most of those stars that we see on the main roster now. And I can relate to that very well. And yeah, I always love Dusty Rhodes, and I respect Joyner Lucas as an artist, but Hulk Hogan, no. So, to put that as nicely as I can, no. So I'm going with Big Sean and Dusty Rhodes.
I got you. All right, that's good. I'm going with Big Sean and Dusty Rhodes on this one as well. Just like you said. His album that just dropped, I believe this week it dropped. I think it's great, and I just love everything that Big Sean does. I love Jordan Lucas as well too. Dusty Rhodes. I mean, what can you say about Dusty? Dusty was amazing. He, like we said, had all these contributions to wrestling. Hulk Hogan, of course, he's influential in wrestling. No matter all the outside stuff, even though that outside stuff weighs a lot on this, especially when you look someone like me. So with this, I'm going Big Sean and Dusty Rhodes on this one. It's a clean sweep on that one. They're going on to the next round for sure. All right, so now we got another interesting one. We got Method Man and The Big Show. They're teaming up and they're taking on 2 Chainz and Mark Henry. Let's start with the ladies on this one. Steph, what you got? Who you got on this one?
Okay, could you repeat it again for me, please?
We got Method Man.
And I wasn't expecting you to go first. I'm sorry.
Nah, it's all good. It's all good. We got Method Man and The Big Show, and they're taking on 2 Chainz and Mark Henry.
Okay. Well, with Mark Henry, he's like, see, that's funny because Mark Henry and Big Show are both, incredibly strong men. They're both could very well be the live. And then with 2 Chainz, it's like, he's good. And then there's also here again that Southern connection, but there's Method Man, and he's an OG. So, I think with this one, I'll choose and the Big Show. Yeah.
Man, and Big Show. All right, Kev, who you got on this one? He has to say a prayer for this one.
But come on, how am I gonna go against Method Man? How am I, METHOD, man? Going with Big Show. I mean, their contributions. Whatever side Big Show decides to wake up from the bed, what side he'll turn. But Big Show's still going. He's still going all this time, and I guess that has to say something.
Yeah.
I actually like 2 Chainz more for his show. When you look for the most expensive things, but I'm going with Method Man and Big Show.
I got you. There's gonna be a clean sweep on this one too. I'm going Method Man and Big Show on this one as well. Method Man is one of the greatest. I love him as an artist. And he just came out too. He's doing Power with 50 Cent. So he just did that. I saw the first episode and he was great in it. Big Show is the Big Show, man. Big Show is like timeless, and it's like Big Show. You just love him so much, man. It's same thing with Mark Henry as well. But I just think Method Man and Big Show, they just outweigh 2 Chainz and Mark Henry on this one. So I'm gonna give it to them a clean sweep. You see, and you see that we agree on a lot of these. We're getting through these together, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heroes.
Yeah. All right, so here we go. We got another good one right here. We got A Boogie with the hoodie. Him teaming up with Mickey James, and they're going against Kanye West and Sasha Banks. This is a good one right here. This is a good one. I'll go first on this one. I know Kanye is kind of crazy, man. But what else can we say about it? Well, I just think, you see Kanye West and Sasha Banks together. That's just box office, man. I love Mickey. She's one of the greatest female wrestlers of all time in my book. A Boogie, one of the newer, younger guys. But besides all the controversy, I think Kanye, you literally could argue for him to be in the top 10 rappers of all time and the top 10 producers of all time. That's just how great he is. And Sasha Banks is just Sasha Banks, man. She's one of the best wrestlers going today. So I'm gonna go Kanye and I'm gonna go Sasha on that one. I'm gonna give him the vote. Let's go Kevin on this one. Who you got on this one, Kev?
It's kind of hard to argue against the points you point out. So I think Kanye, say what you want about Kanye, he's gonna be one of the most influential people in history with everything he's done. And Sasha Banks is, one of the trailblazers in women's wrestling, and not just that, just wrestling in general. With her IQ and her actual ring work has improved with going on right now, and she's still building the long game right now. Her and Bailey is, they kept wrestling afloat during COVID with them and Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton. So I'm going yay. Going with the boss. The West.
Got you. Okay, awesome. Steph, who you got on this one?
Now, I love Mickey James, and there's only been so few things I've heard from A Boogie with a Hoodie. So, and outside of the controversy, Kanye West, is an incredibly important producer, rapper, and musician. But everything he's done musically has been fantastic. And I'm wearing Sasha's shirt.
Oh, see, look at that. See? She came prepared.
Yeah, she knew.
My dad gave me my birthday. I was so excited. Sasha Banks to me just represents, like, she's just the greatest. She's the GOAT in my opinion. She's one of the greatest of all time to me. So I'm choosing Kanye West and Sasha Banks because alone, when you have that much power in music and that much power in wrestling in terms of the psychology, all of the above, you can't go wrong. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you on that one. That's a good one. See, another clean sweep on that one. We're on the same page. This one I think is going to get a little interesting. Let's see what we'll do on this one. We got Cardi B teaming up with Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig, and going against Big Pun and John Cena. What a matchup that is right there. Let's start, Kev. Who you got on this one?
Cardi B right now she's one of the more popular, influential artists going on right now with everything going on, and rest is R.I.P. Mr. Perfect, who one of the best heels of all time. But how are you gonna go against the champ? How are you gonna go against the standard and Big Pun? When Big Pun left us too soon to leave us with a large catalog of his music, of his greatness and his lyricists. And yeah, I'm going with John Cena and Big Pun.
Oh, I can't argue with you on that one. Steph, who you got on this one? Big Pun, John Cena against Cardi B, Mr. Perfect. Who are you picking on this one?
I think based off of the influence of their influences, I would say Cardi B and Mr. Perfect.
Yeah.
Because it's like when it comes to Cardi B, when it comes to anything that Cardi B or anything that Mr. Perfect did, you were always watching. Everything they did, they grabbed your attention. But you could also maybe say the same thing about John Cena, because he was a standard bearer, for so many years.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to Big Pun, there was so much that he still could have done had he been. So, but there's still respect for what he did do during his time. So I'll go with Cardi B and Mr. Perfect.
Cardi B and Mr. Perfect. Oh, man. You guys only do these tiebreakers when I'm going last. I see what's happening. See what's happening.
Me and Steph go way back. That's why we planned it that way.
You guys are planning this. I know this. Oh, man. This is a tough one. I mean, Cardi B, I love Cardi B, like you said. Cardi B is just very entertaining, man, no matter what she does. And she's just like that hood girl that you just love so much because she keep it so real. She's just perfect. But she's perfect. Look at that. Look at that, pun intended. Mr. Perfect is just, he was amazing, man. He was a great wrestler. Big Pun, I mean, he had the rhymes for days. He's arguably one of the best rappers in that short period of time that he did rap. People still consider him one of the best rappers of all time. And John Cena, 16-time world champion, man. John Cena, I think, like we said, the standard bearer. Just John Cena, I think everything he attaches his name to is pretty big too as well. I think I'm gonna go Big Pun and John Cena on this one, man. I just think, just John Cena is just John Cena. Everybody knows John Cena is a household name, just like Cardi B is a household name. And then I just look at it, Big Pun is just his lyricism over Cardi B. So I think I just gotta go John Cena and Big Pun on this one. So sorry, I gotta go against you again now, Steph. You see that? Oh man! All right, so here we go. This is an interesting one to say the least. We got China and Kendrick Lamar, and they're going to be taking on Kodak Black and Kane. So Kendrick Lamar and China going against Kodak Black and Kane. I'll go first on this one. This is a tough one, but I think just looking at the rappers, I love Kendrick Lamar so much. I just think he's just one of the best of today, leading the new school. China, she's one of the only Intercontinental champion is a woman, and she's done a lot. She set the way for things like what happened with Tessa Blanchard to happen, to be the women's world heavyweight champion of a company. So I think I'm gonna go China and Kendrick on this one. Kane, no disrespect to him, he's one of the OGs too. He's been around forever. Kodak, I love Kodak Black too. I think he's another underrated rapper who I think sometimes people don't understand, so they don't give his creativity a chance. And that guy is a really creative dude. no matter how, crazy he might be doing some things outside of rap. But at the end of the day, I'm going China and Kendrick on this one. Steph, who you got on this one?
I agree with you. Because Kendrick Lamar is definitely one of my favorites, and like in terms of a top 5, he's probably number 1. So I'm definitely going with Kendrick and China, because like just respect to her. Like she's just everything that women are is a part of her contribution. So I'll definitely say China and Kendrick, definitely choosing them.
All right, Kev, it's gonna be a clean sweep, or who you going with on this one?
I agree with both what you and Steph said, especially when it comes to China. She's so influential. She made masculine be feminine. She was the first female intercontinental champion. There was thoughts of putting the world title on her at one point. And, how are you going to argue that Kendrick's not the best rapper alive or of the new school? Like, by far and none. Like, Kane is great. I mean, Kane's been around a long time. He evolves with the times to an extent. You could tell with his outfit. Kodak Black, I agree. He's a little misunderstood, but yeah, you just can't argue when Kodak Black and Kendrick Lamar. You can, and the contribution of China. If there was no China, there may have been no Beth Phoenix. There'd be no Tessa Blanchard, possibly. There'd be no Charlotte. Like a powerful woman.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with you on that one. So we got it. China and Kendrick, they're going on to the next round. Here's a good one. This is the ladies. Steph, you're gonna have to pick between the ladies on this one. I'm gonna let you go first on this one. You got Foxy Brown and Sting teaming up on one team, and you got them taking on Lil' Kim and Mick Foley. So Lil' Kim and Mick Foley going up against Foxy Brown and Sting. Steph, for the women, who you going with on this one? Who you picking?
Wow.
Tough.
Huh.
Yeah. And then you got Mick Foley and Sting too. That doesn't make it easy too. You got two of the greatest of all time as well.
It doesn't. Oh man. Ooh. I think I'm gonna go Lil' Kim and Mick Foley, because I feel like Lil' Kim is just and that's no disrespect to Foxy Brown, but I just feel like when I think of a hard hitting woman, the first person I think of is Lil' Kim. Sometimes that's the first person I think of when it comes to hard hitting women like that. And Mick Foley, he's just extreme no matter what he does, and no matter what persona he is. So but then it's so hard because Sting, he has ability out of this world, and then he also has personality out of this world too. So okay, but I'm choosing Lil' Kim and Mick Foley.
Lil' Kim and Mick Foley. Kev, who you got on this one? I know it's a tough one.
Like back in the 90s, they were the two big female rappers in the game. What Kim had in her side, she was part of Junior Mafia, and her first album was one of the classic.
Yeah.
And maybe just on sheer catalog, she has an edge over Foxy. I mean, Foxy didn't really come out much music, especially after what happened with her hearing. And we go to the wrestlers, but man, like Sting is the icon. Sting. You want to talk franchise players like John Cena? Sting was a franchise player for WCW for years. He was what The Undertaker is to WWE. But the faces of Mick Foley and just constantly being able to change it up, and his influential from the Hell in a Cell match, the thumbtacks, the death matches as Cactus Jack. Yeah. I'm agreeing with Steph. I'm going with Mick Foley and Lil' Kim.
Got you. It's going to be a clean sweep. I'm going Lil' Kim and Mick Foley. That's Team New York right there. They both repping for New York right there. Like you said, Lil' Kim I just think is amazing. And her and Foxy at that time in the 90s, they were the two women that, you know, everybody talked about, you know, just like who was the best at that time, especially, like you said, like Junior Mafia and Bad Boy. Then Mick Foley and Sting, that's just such a tough one. Mick Foley is just, he's a living legend, man. So is Sting, the face of WCW. He was like there to the last breath. But, you know, I got to give the edge to Lil' Kim and Mick Foley, man. Gotta keep it moving on that one. All right, so we got another one. This is Ric Flair and Little Baby, not Da Baby. This is Little Baby. Little Baby and Ric Flair taking on the team of 50 Cent and Asuka. I'll start Kevin on this one. Who you got? 50 Cent, Asuka, Ric Flair, Little Baby. Who you picking on this one?
Ric Flair is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. 50. When 50 came out with Get Rich or Die Trying, him and the G-Unit way, that just controlled my high school and his influence. And yeah, musically, he's not up there, but his influence, his entrepreneurial skills, he has a hit show. But man, Asuka's just same way I was saying about Sasha and Bailey and Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton carrying WWE during COVID, and you know, Asuka's been the man.
Yeah.
But I cannot argue against the 16-time limousine riding, wheeling and dealing, kiss stealing, son of a gun. I'm going Ric Flair and Lil Baby.
Ric Flair, Little Baby.
Just
right.
on the power of Ric Flair.
All right, see, I'm gonna go next. So I'm gonna put the tiebreaker on Steph this time because I'm going 50 Cent and Asuka on this one. 50 Cent is just, he's like, this dude does everything. He's the true definition of a hustler, and he is a part of everything. He makes money off of everything, and especially with going into television right now, all his shows that he's putting together are just all turned into hits. He still does music, and he's still pretty decent at it, at a decent level right now. And then Asuka, I think Asuka, you know, just like Steph, like you love Sasha, I love Asuka. I think Asuka is the best woman wrestler of all time, and I just think she's amazing. Ric Flair, of course, that's the GOAT, man, Ric Flair. I think in this one, in this instance, his partner is what's holding him down, and Little Baby. So I just think that team of 50 Cent and Asuka are too powerful. So 1-1, Steph, the deal breaker, and the tiebreaker is on you. Who you picking in this one?
I'm picking 50 Cent and Asuka because, like you said, in terms of 50 Cent's influence, you can't really like deny that, and his foray into everything that he's done, even outside of music. And when it comes to Asuka, like I feel like if there was ever a match between Ric Flair, possibly in his prime, and Asuka, even or whether her prime, she would still probably beat him because wrestling has sort of evolved past when he was in his prime, and I just feel like she would probably beat him if it was a fair match between them both in their prime. So I'm choosing 50 Cent and Asuka.
Look at that. I like that with the hot take. Steph got the hot take. Asuka in her prime.
Greatest player in the game. I think he figured something out.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see. We'll never know, right? But that would be great. That would definitely be great. All right, so we got another interesting one here. We're halfway through this. We're doing good. We got The Rock and T.I. taking on Raekwon and Scott Hall. So it's Raekwon, Scott Hall taking on The Rock and T.I. I'll go first on this one. I just love The Rock, man. I think he's one of the greatest of all time. T.I., he's exponentially one of the best rappers of all time, whatever he likes to say. That's his like favorite word he likes to use. Scott Hall with the NWO, I think that was just big. And Raekwon, he's always considered one of the best rappers of all time as well. But I just think that team of The Rock and T.I. are just too strong. So I'm gonna make this an easy one. The Rock and T.I. Give them my vote. Steph, who you got in this one?
I think for this one, I'm gonna go with The Rock and T.I. because I'm not necessarily as familiar with Raekwon's work. Not disrespect, not as familiar with him.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of Scott Hall, like you have to give him his due, especially with NWO and as he was Razor Ramon. So both personas, did what they needed to do, especially him and his rivalry with Shawn Michaels. But when it comes to The Rock, you just can't face him. He's just the golden goose in life. And when it comes to T.I., like, here's that South thing again. He's one of the best rappers to come out of the South. Even though sometimes he has a tendency to sort of talk himself into a hole a little bit. But I'll definitely choose The Rock and T.I.
All right, I like that one. We got that. They're going on to the next round. Is it going to be a clean sweep, Kev, or are you going with Raekwon and Scott Hall? Clean sweep?
The great one. And TIP, love Raekwon, love Scott Hall. I mean, my favorite wrestling matches are ladder matches, and it's a lot to do with Razor Ramon and Scott Hall and Shawn Michaels' first ladder match. But you can't compete with The Rock. Like, The Rock, it's The Rock.
Yeah, I agree, man.
I eat a jabroni beating.
I agree with you on that one for sure. And they just made jabroni an official word in the dictionary this past week. So that's how big The Rock is. He got a word put into the dictionary, jabroni. Let's see. Next matchup, we got Common, Chicago's own. Oh, this is Team Chicago right here. We got Common and CM Punk taking on Pop Smoke and X-Pac. So Pop Smoke and X-Pac taking on Common and CM Punk. Let's start Kev on this one. Who you got, Kev?
Not to be disrespectful, but I think this one's kind of an easy one. Unfortunately, Pop Smoke's no longer with us.
Mm-hmm.
But come on, Common is one of the most, as far as lyricists, one of the most talented and thought-provoking rappers, and people still chant for CM Punk's name. They still chant for him, and he's been retired. It's a no-brainer. We're going for the Common and the voice of the voiceless.
I got Team Chicago. I got you on that one. Steph, who you got on this one?
I have Team Chicago as well because I do love me some Common. He's great. Even though he talks about pretty powerful things and prolific things in his music, I love his sensitive side where he talks about love and stuff. So I love Common for that. And then I love CM Punk because you just can't go wrong with him. He's just a fighter, not just as a wrestler, but just with his words as well. He doesn't care about making people angry with his, unpopular opinions about things. And that's something I always admired about him. I loved his honesty. Now, as far as Pop Smoke goes, I feel like there was so much more he had to offer had he had lived. So, yeah, I feel what he did leave, it was good, but I just feel like there was so much more he could have done. And when it comes to X-Pac, it's like, I like him. He's cool, but I'm just with Team Chicago.
I don't blame you. It's going to be a clean sweep on that one. I'm going Team Chicago as well. I think, Common he's just a legend. CM Punk, one of the best wrestlers of all time as well. They're pretty similar. I think it has to be that Chicago attitude. Like, they both use their words in powerful ways. Pop Smoke, just like I think it's just his life was cut too short. And the thing, I think when Pop Smoke first came out, there was a lot of people who were just like, because he has a different sound and just the way his voice sounds. So everyone's like, what is this? Like, at first you didn't like it, but then when you actually give it a chance and listen to him, you're like, dang, this guy is actually pretty good. And then it's like, once I actually started to really like him, then he passed away. And I felt just so bad about that. I'm just like, he was just so talented. He was a talented kid and, only 19 years old, sucks that, he passed away so young. X-Pac is great too. He he's a one of the wild boys of wrestling as well. He's always surrounded in controversy. But you know, he's still great. But I gotta go Team Chicago on this one as well. Give them a clean sweep. They'll go on to the next round. This one, next matchup we got Meek Mill teaming up with Rick Rude and taking on 21 Savage and Rey Mysterio. So 21 Savage, Rey Mysterio taking on Meek Mill and Rick Rude. I'll go first on this one. This is a tough one, but Rey Mysterio is just so great, man. I love Rey Mysterio so much. I think 21 Savage is another great rapper as well that, you know, a lot of people, they kind of don't understand as well. Meek Mill is just Meek Mill, and Rick Rude is great. Who else wrestles with their opponent's wife on their trunks? Like, who else could do something like that besides Rick Rude, man? He was great. But I just gotta go 21 Savage and Rey Mysterio on this one, man. Just because I love Rey so much, and I'll edge it out. Yeah, I'll give it to him. I don't even know what else to say that. I gotta make a choice, so I'm going with them. 21 Savage, Rey Mysterio. Steph, who you got on this one?
I think this is actually a little bit hard for me because I like Meek Mill and what he has to offer. And then I love 21 Savage too. You know, he has a very unique voice, and I like, you know, the way he tells stories in a very, you know, simplistic way. But then with Rick Rude, you know, you have his charisma that just oozes, and then you have Rey Mysterio, who has charisma and lucha ability. So I think for this, I'm gonna go with 21 and Rey Mysterio.
21 and Rey. All right, that's already two. They're going on to the next round. Clean sweep, Kev, or you going Meek Mill, Rick Rude? Who you going with?
Clean sweep, just from, you know, Rey Mysterio is the underdog of underdogs, but still is hung around, and he has such an influence that he's better now than he was when he was younger.
Yeah.
That's saying something for someone that's been around for so long, has taken some nasty bumps. You know, now he's wrestling with his son. Like, it's the storyline with him and Brock Lesnar, or now with him and Seth Rollins. Like, it's, you know, he made a fake eyeball. Someone think
Yeah. That's probably the only thing I didn't like that he's done in his career, by the way, the whole eyeball thing. But besides that, I think he's been amazing, of course.
Now, you know, Rey Mysterio has a cartoon coming out pretty soon.
Yeah, he does.
America.
Yeah, he does, yeah. Yep. Oh, man, see, yeah, Rey's just amazing, man. How can you not like Rey Mysterio?
Right.
He's great. All right, next matchup we got Ghostface, and we got teaming up with Charlotte, and we got Lupe Fiasco teaming up with Trish Stratus. So Lupe Fiasco, Trish Stratus taking on Ghostface and Charlotte. I'll go first on this one. Why not? This is pretty tough. I love Lupe, man. I think he's so great. And Ghostface is one of the best rappers of all time as well. It's so tough. But then you look at the woman, it's like Charlotte. It's like the same thing. It's like Charlotte could be possibly the greatest woman wrestler of all time. And then you got Trish Stratus, who was so pioneer. If there was no Trish Stratus, would there even be a Charlotte? You know what I mean? That's a tough one. But I think I'm gonna go Lupe Fiasco and Trish Stratus on this one. I'm gonna give them the vote. Let's go, Kev. Who you got on this one, Kev?
All right, you know how Steph loves Sasha, you love Asuka.
Yeah.
Charlotte's the best wrestler. Like, she's the best wrestler. Like, from a physical point, heel work, like, she is the end all be all. She is alpha and the omega in the women's wrestling division, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know, she took Ronda Rousey to the limit in wrestling. She took Rhea Ripley to the limit in WrestleMania. She took Asuka to the limit in WrestleMania. She is better than her father, and I think her father's one of the greatest of all time.
Wow.
As far as and Ghostface is one of the founding fathers of Wu-Tang. It's got a catalog. Lupe's fantastic as well. Yeah, you're right. Trish Stratus is a trailblazer, but I'm going with Charlotte and Ghostface.
Charlotte and Ghostface. I like that. Steph, it's up to you. This is a tiebreaker. You got Ghostface, Charlotte, or you going Lupe and Trish Stratus? Who you going with on this one?
I think I'm going to go with Lupe and Trish simply because of the fact that even though Ghostface is a legend with the Wu-Tang, and even though you have Charlotte, who's basically a legend in the making, Lupe is one of the greats in rap that somehow or another gets misunderstood and underrated somehow. And I don't know how it happened or why it happened. I really feel like it needs to stop. But he shouldn't be as underrated as people make him because he's just so good with everything that he does with his lyricism and with his conscious music as well. And Trish Stratus is one of the greatest women's wrestlers at a certain point in terms of women who didn't necessarily start off in the independents, but still trained and worked her butt off in order to get good and to get better, to do everything that she had done. Because if it wasn't for her and Lita having a main event on Raw, then Charlotte and Sasha wouldn't have had their multiple main events on Raw for championships as well. So I'm definitely going with Lupe and Trish.
Yeah, I like that. And you see how we teamed up on you because we don't like Charlotte, all right? We like Sasha Banks and Asuka, not Charlotte, all right, Kevin? And that's a hot take right there. Look at that. Kevin says that Charlotte. Yeah. we got hot takes. We got Kevin saying that Charlotte is better than Ric Flair, and we got Stephanie saying that Asuka in her prime would whoop Ric Flair in his prime. There's a lot of hot takes going on right now.
Yeah, I don't know how you got. I don't. Oh, Charlotte she's the queen.
Charlotte is great. I love Charlotte, man. I love Charlotte. She's another one. People hate on her.
There's a missing void in the women's division with her being out.
Yeah. Nah, that's true. That's definitely true. All right, let's see. Going on to this next matchup. I think this might be another tough one too. We got Gucci Mane, and he's teaming up with Terry Funk, and he's going to be taking on Rick Ross, the biggest boss, and Owen Hart. Owen Hart, Rick Ross taking on Gucci Mane and Terry Funk. Let's see. Let's start Kevin on this. Who do you think, Kev?
This is a touchy subject. I feel like Owen Hart. We didn't get the best of Owen Hart when he was with us.
Yeah.
The closest was his rivalry with Bret at WrestleMania 10. But he always got pushed to the back. He always, management never saw him as a true star like he was. And Rick Ross, Rick Ross is one of those guys. It's just he's still around. He'll come out, but he's influential. Gucci Mane's another one. He's one. These two Southern rappers, they both did their thing. And I'm going over some notes, just thinking about the hardcore legend Terry Funk. We talked about Mick Foley earlier. Those death matches, Cactus Jack had a dance partner, and that was Terry Funk.
Yeah, for sure.
This is a tough one. But again, I think it's not fair because we never got the best of Owen Hart.
Uh-huh.
And from a lyrical point of view, I think Gucci Mane may edge out Rick Ross, so I'm going with Gucci Mane and Terry Funk.
Oh man, Gucci Mane and Terry Funk. All right, Steph, who you got on this one? Gucci Mane and Terry Funk, or you going Rick Ross and Owen Hart on this one?
I think I'll go Rick Ross and Owen Hart on this one. Simply because of the fact that I know that since Owen Hart may not have necessarily had the opportunity to show his best, it's just that in some of the clips that I saw before he really went as a star in WWE, there was a lot that he was able to do as a wrestler and as someone who came from the dungeon. And I have mad respect for that, even though there was still so much he still could have done. I still feel like he had a treasure trove within him that we just didn't see. So I think I'll just go with, simply because of that, I'll just choose Rick Ross and Owen Hart.
Got you. Oh man. So this is the tiebreaker on this one.
Yeah, Derek.
This is tough too, but I think I gotta go Rick Ross and Owen Hart on this one too, man. I think Rick. For me, I think Rick. I think he edges out Gucci Mane when it comes to lyrics. Rick Ross, I think he's a pretty good rapper. And Rick Ross, if you never listened to Stephanie's show, the Hardy Wrestling Podcast, when you listen to Stephanie, her voice puts you in a very calming mood, a very soothing way. I feel the same way when I listen to Rick Ross. I just feel like I'm riding in my convertible through Miami. I'm the biggest boss, you got your girl with you in the car, her wind's blowing, and he makes you feel like that, man. That's what I get every time I listen to his stuff. So, and then Owen Hart, I mean, I think even with what we didn't see, people still call Owen one of the best wrestlers of all time, and he beat Bret Hart. He beat Bret at WrestleMania. Come on, that's Bret Hart, the Bret Hart. He beat his own brother. Right. So there was big things for him, man, and Owen, he had like so much ahead of his time. I wish he was still here because he was so great. I love Gucci. I love Terry. Terry's a legend, of course, but I have to edge it out to Rick Ross and Owen Hart on this one. I gotta give it to him. So they're going on to the next round. All right, so we got Busta Rhymes teaming up with Seth Rollins. Ooh. And they're taking on ASAP Rocky and Jake the Snake Roberts. So ASAP Rocky, Jake the Snake taking on Busta Rhymes, Seth Rollins in this one. I'll go first on this one. Busta, I love Busta. Busta is like, old Busta is like one of the best lyricists ever, man. If you listen to his old stuff, you're like, that dude is amazing. And then he evolved and he made just a lot of party hits, a lot of anthems and stuff for us to listen to. And I think his video making as well, Busta always put out like the greatest videos. He always did all the innovative, weird stuff that people weren't used to, but he set the trend for that. And he started that for, I think you look at a Busta Rhymes, like the videos he did set up for guys like Ludacris and the creativity he had in his music videos as well. And then Seth Rollins I think he's just so great. He's leading. He's like one of the leaders of this new school right now. Jake the Snake is a great dude. I've met him before. He's such a funny guy. He reminds me of just like an uncle, just the way he interacts with you. He's just so crazy. ASAP, I love him, his creativity. But I think I'm going Busta Rhymes and Seth Rollins on this one. I'm pushing them on to the next round. Steph, who you got on this one?
I think for this one, when it comes to wrestling ability, you just cannot top Seth Rollins at this point. Yeah. You just can't top Seth Rollins at this point, even though the character he might be a little bit long in the tooth and annoying. You just can't go wrong with him as a wrestler. Like, he's really one of the best in the new breed that we have at this point. His passion, burns through. You just can't go wrong with that at all. And then with Busta Rhymes, it's just like, he has so much charisma with his rap career and all of the above. It's just like, one minute, he'll take it slow with his rap songs, and next minute he'll go about 1,000 miles per hour and with skill without stumbling at all. So I'll just go with Busta and Seth. You can't go wrong with those two.
Got you. Definitely agree with you on that one. Kev, what you got? Is it a clean sweep, or you go for ASAP and Jake?
How do you speak ill of the Monday Night Messiah? As he has sacrificed for the greater good. I am going to burn it down and pass it to RCA. We are moving Busta Rhymes and Seth Rollins to the next round.
I like that. I like how you put all that together. I like that. Oh, man. You got to love Seth. Got to love Busta. They're going on to the next round. All right. We got another interesting one here. We got Tyga and his partner, the Ultimate Warrior. What a team that is. Tyga and Ultimate Warrior going against Bun B and Nikki Bella. Nikki Bella, Bun B going against Tiger and Ultimate Warrior. Kev, who you got on this one? You can start first.
Okay, so, funny story. I actually seen Tiger live by accident. I was in AC, and yeah, we went down. We went to what's the one with the pool?
The pool, right? Club, the pool. That's what it's called.
So we went, and I'm like, oh, and we're walking around, and Tiger literally runs right past me with a bunch of girls. I'm like, oh, I didn't know he was recording. He was performing tonight. So that's my funny story. But Bum B, that's Houston rap.
Yeah.
Like that's oof. And then, but it gets tougher. We go on the other side of the coin, and the Ultimate Warrior is that promo he cut right before he passed away. Brings shivers to your spine, and it's inspirational, and it's kind of, and it's also heartbreaking because the next day he passed away.
Yeah.
So, learning all that. But Nikki Bella has been so influential in women's wrestling, and she was, part of the, give the women a chance and the women's revolution. And, she was the longest reigning Divas champion. She was kind of that standard, she was the top female performer prior to Sasha, Bailey, Becky, the four horsewomen showing up. And now she's doing her thing with reality TV, with, she's also helping out other, like Natty, Carmella, getting into reality TV and other things, as well as Lana with Total Divas and Total Bellas. This is tough. I think just on standard, I'm going Bun B and Nikki Bella.
Yeah.
I think this is one of those where the partner holds the Ultimate Warrior back. But yeah, that's my opinion. I'm going Bun B and Nikki Bella.
Got you. All right, Steph. Who you got on this one? You going Tiger and Ultimate Warrior? You going Bun B and Nikki Bella?
I think it's kind of hard because in terms of the wrestlers, you have two totally different styles and two totally different times. And then it's sort of the same way with Tiger and Bun B too.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna do Bun B and Nikki Bella because you honestly can't go wrong with Bun B. He's an OG, and then you also can't go wrong with Nikki Bella because for everything that she has done for women's wrestling, and then now she's off living her dream life with her fiance and her baby. So, I know that really has nothing to do with it, but I'm just really happy for her in that regard. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Bun B and Nikki Bella.
All right, I'm gonna go the same way as well. I think Bun B, he's so legendary, man. And Nikki Bella, as much as people hated on her, like she has done so much. It's so fitting that her and John Cena were together because just like people hate on John Cena, everybody was hating on her the same exact way. And she came out there and she just gave it her all, and she did it every night. But she was definitely very influential, and she pioneered a lot of things for the women's division and for women in general in wrestling. So that's an easy one. We go clean sweep on that one. Bun B and Nikki Bella going on to the next round. This right here might be the toughest one we've had all night. We're gonna go. I'll start with you first on this one, Kev. It's gonna be the team of J. Cole and Lita teaming up against Triple H and Tupac. So you got J. Cole and Lita going against Triple H and Tupac. Kev, who you got on it? There can't be a wrong answer on this one, but who you going with on this one, Kevin?
Yo, Derek, you didn't make any of these easy, but this is the hardest one. You are sadistic, man. Come on, you Jigsaw. You're Jigsaw.
You gotta make a pick, bro. You gotta take a pick.
Oh, Lord.
This is a tough one. I know this is tough.
Oh.
You want to talk influence. You want to talk Tupac is like a lot. His words are studied in university.
Yeah.
Like that's hard. Like the influence that Tupac Shakur left on this world, and people are still convinced he's alive.
Yeah. He's in Cuba somewhere, right?
Yeah. And then on the wrestling side, yeah, I mean, Lita's one of those trailblazers for the women's revolution, and she has influenced everyone from Bayley, Sasha, Becky, Charlotte. You know, her match with Trish Stratus, if there wasn't a main event on Raw between them, we wouldn't be having probably Evolution. And hopefully Evolution 2. Like, come on, let's get that going.
Yeah.
But how are we not going to talk about the game?
Yeah.
How are we not going to talk about Papa H? Whether as a wrestler, as a, you know, or as a promoter with NXT, his transformation from Hunter Helmsley to Triple H with DX with version 1.0, version 2.0, and then the revamped version of 1.0 to Evolution,
Yeah.
and then multiple time championships and making stars. Like his battles with The Rock, his battles with Shawn Michaels, his battles, even when he had his ego craze when he held the title for a year. But he made stars. He put, you know, helping Seth Rollins, guys like Kevin Owens break into WWE, you know. And yeah, NXT, like, yeah, no, this is so hard. Eric, I hate you. I'm going Tupac and Triple H. I'm sorry, J. Cole.
Tupac
I'm sorry,
and Triple
Lita.
H. I don't blame you on that one. I don't blame Steph. Who you going with on this one? J. Cole and Lita, or are you going Tupac and Triple H on this one?
I would appreciate this category.
So make Derek the deciding factor.
Because I've actually seen J. Cole live. Like, that was, I think that was the first rap concert I've gone to in my whole life. So it was a really good show. And I just love him, you know, lyrically. I love, like, you can't go wrong with 2014 Forest Hills Drive. That was one of his best albums to me. And then my second favorite is Born Sinner. Like, this is hard. And then when it comes to Tupac, oh my gosh, like, everything about him, everything that he did in a short period of time that he was able to do it, he did it well. And you can only imagine how big of a star he probably would have been had he lived. And it's just so hard because it's like without him, you wouldn't have Kendrick. You probably wouldn't have even had Nipsey either. God rest his soul. It's just, oh, man. But then with Lita, you have all of her contributions, you know, with the women's evolution and everything she was able to do. And then you have Triple H and his whole life and everything he's been able to contribute, even, you know, with him being connected so closely to the McMahon family and all of that. So, and I can't choose both, can I?
Can't choose both. You gotta pick one of them.
In any other circumstance, I'd be like both, but no. Okay. Because I love Tupac, I'm just gonna choose Triple H and Tupac.
Triple H and Tupac. Oh man, see how you got. That's already two. They're already going to the next round, man. And I was gonna go the same way too. I was gonna go Triple H and Tupac as well. I love J. Cole, man. I love J. Cole. Tupac is just legendary, man, and Triple H is just, he's still going today, and he's so influential in NXT and everything he's doing. So as tough as that was, we actually all ended up on the same side, and we all picked Triple H and Tupac to go into the next round. That was a tough one. That was a really tough one. They might get better from you. They might get better. I don't know. All right, so here we go. We're down to the final 8 right here. We got Beanie Siegel teaming up with Booker T taking on, oh, how did this matchup happen? Taking on Jadakiss and Ted DiBiase. Beanie Siegel and Beanie Siegel and Jadakiss had their beef in the past, and they actually had diss records for each other. So Beanie Siegel and Booker T taking on Jadakiss, Ted DiBiase. This is a tough one. I'll start first on this one. I think as a rapper, I like Jadakiss more than I like Beanie Siegel. But just during that time with the Rockefeller, they were just so big, man. Beanie Siegel, Memphis Bleak, Jay-Z, Dame Dash, and then they added Dipset to it as well. Oh, man. And then it's Booker T, man. Booker T is the five-time WCW champion. And I tell you, I mastered doing the spin-a-rooney when I was a kid. I know exactly. I'll do it for you. I will videotape it and send it to you, Steph. I'm telling you, I still know how to do it to this day. I can do the spin-a-rooney. That's how much I loved it.
Don't hurt yourself, but please do it.
I won't.
Derek, make sure you stretch.
Yeah, I'm not as young as I used to be, right? I'm going to go Beanie Siegel and Booker T on this one. I hate to do it to Jadakiss, but I'm going to give the vote to Beanie Siegel and Booker T. Steph, I'll throw it to you next. Who you got on this one?
Okay. I have to confess, I haven't really listened to a whole lot of Beanie Siegel and Jadakiss. But I think I'll just do it based off of wrestlers alone. And I think I'll just choose Booker T because he's just greatest, and when it comes to him, you know, evolving, he was always good at doing that with his characters and also with his wrestling ability. Now, mind you, now he may say something that may kind of rub people the wrong way occasionally on social media, but outside of that, you know, you can't, you know, take away his influence on the game and for, you know, Black wrestlers and that representation. So I'll definitely choose Beanie Siegel and Booker T.
Beanie Siegel and Booker T. Going on to the next round. Kev, who you got? You got a clean sweep on this one, or are you going Jadakiss and Ted DiBiase?
As rappers, I prefer Jadakiss over Beanie. But wrestlers, I mean, Booker was one of my favorites in WCW growing up. But how are you going to argue against the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase? I mean, as his heel work, how he just bought the WWF World Heavyweight Championship at that time.
Yeah.
But then those, you know, you look back at some of those things, having a manservant. No. Yeah, I mean, look, man.
It was a different time then, man.
Different time then. I think, it's just a clean sweep. It's tough. I'm just going a clean sweep.
All right, Beanie and Booker.
You know, the five-time WCW champion.
Yeah, Beanie and Booker, they're going on to the next round.
I do have this Ted DiBiase though. Like when I met Ric Flair this year at Alabama's Comic-Con, he was also there and he also had a table and they were actually talking to each other while I was standing and I thought it was a dream.
Yeah. Oh, man.
This has to be a dream because to see them both like right there in front of my face, it's like what?
Yeah. Ted's he's a real nice guy too. He's like very like into church and stuff like that now. I was talking to him and you know he's just a real cool dude, and it's like, you know, who he played on TV and now who he is now is just like, it's so amazing. And then if you look at Virgil still plays up to the whole freaking manservant thing and all this. He still is like living off Ted's name and stuff. He's like another crazy guy. But I love Ted. He's a nice guy, but he's not advancing in this one. He took the L this time. We got this matchup right here. We got Megan Thee Stallion.
Yes.
No, Kevin already made his decision since I said Megan Thee Stallion. I didn't even need to say the rest of it. Megan Thee Stallion and Jeff Hardy are going against Snoop Dogg and Bret Hart. Look at that team right there. Megan Thee Stallion, Jeff Hardy going against Snoop and Bret. Steph, I'll let you go first on this one. Who you going with on this one?
See, I love Snoop Dogg because of that. Because it's like I say, I love West Coast rap, and then I love Bret Hart because you can't go wrong with him and his, tech vibes. But then you have Megan Thee Stallion, who is just arguably probably one of the best rappers we have now at this point, who's also very consistent with everything that she does. And then you have Jeff Hardy, who is my brother in my head. So, shoot. I'm going to choose Megan and Jeff because I love Megan and because Hardy gang. So, yeah.
Hardy gang, gotta stay, gotta rep. I feel you on that one. I'm gonna go on this one. I'm gonna go Snoop and Brett on this one. Just cause Snoop is the man. That's Uncle Snoop. That's everybody's uncle, man. You know what I mean? We all his nephew and nieces. I love Uncle Snoop. And Bret Hart, I mean, that's self-explanatory on that one. Even though I love Jeff too. And Megan Thee Stallion is just Megan Thee Stallion. I don't know how any guy doesn't love Megan Thee Stallion no matter what. But I gotta stick with Snoop Dogg, man. He said it in '94. I'm not gonna repeat it, but I'm gonna get Snoop Dogg, Bret Hart. I'm gonna give him the point. Kev, I'm gonna put the tiebreaker on you. Who you going with?
It's a foregone conclusion. It's the dog father, and the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a open and shut case. I'm sorry, but Snoop's catalog and influence on the game, Meg just really getting started.
Mm-hmm.
Love Jeff Hardy, but he's no Bret Hart. He's the 60-minute Iron Man match.
Yeah.
WrestleMania. That's if it wasn't for the whole Montreal screw job and Goldberg kicking him on the head, giving him a concussion, who knows where Bret Hart would be?
No, yeah, true. I give you that. For sure. Yeah, no arguments, man. Snoop Dogg and Bret going on to the next round. That's a powerful team right there. One of the favorites. All right, this next matchup, we got Rakim. Rakim, one of the best rappers all time as well. Rakim and Mae Young teaming up, and they're taking on the team of Eminem, Slim Shady himself, and the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. So Eminem and Shawn Michaels taking on Rakim and Mae Young. I'll go first on this one. Eminem and HBK, I'm giving them the vote right there. That's possibly my favorite rapper of all time and possibly my favorite wrestler of all time. So I think for me, that's an easy one right there. I think Eminem he's considered top 5 rappers, and he's in the top 3 of all time when people bring up his name. And Shawn Michaels is just Shawn Michaels, man. He's the showstopper, the icon. He's just amazing. So I'm gonna go Eminem and HBK on this, not taking anything away from Mae Young and her influence or Rakim and how great he is. Kevin, I'll throw it to you on this one. Who you got?
I'm agreeing with you. I think this duo may be able to win the whole tournament. I mean, there's another duo I'm seeing that's also more. How you gonna argue? Yeah, Rakim is one of the rap gods, and Mae Young, her contribution to wrestling, women's wrestling, influence, but
Yeah.
HBK without Sean is a cut out of Ric Flair, but AJ Styles is from HBK.
Yeah.
Like Seth Rollins is from HBK. Like they remind me of HBK so much. I'm going with the Heartbreak Kid, and Eminem is one of my favorite rappers. So yeah, that's an open and shut case for me.
Got you, Steph. Who you going with? Is it a clean sweep? Who you going with? Eminem and HBK or Rakim and Mae Young? Who you picking?
I'm actually picking Eminem and Shawn Michaels because Eminem is one of my favorite rappers as well, and Shawn Michaels is definitely one of my favorites too. Like I just love him. Like when it comes to anyone who was an OG and bounced back after all the stuff he was going through, and then found his higher power and all that, like I directly related to that and then fell in love with him from that point. So I'll definitely go with Eminem and Sean for that. So yeah, that's good.
Awesome,
but I love him.
Yeah, definitely some good points on there. Eminem and HBK, definitely a strong team that can win this whole thing for sure. I agree on that point. Next one we got The Undertaker teaming up with Future, taking on Travis Scott and Roman Reigns. So the Undertaker and Future taking on Travis Scott, Roman Reigns. Let you start first, Kev. Who you got on this one?
This is close to Triple H and Tupac versus J. Cole and Lita. Oof. Now, you know I love Future.
Yeah.
I love The Undertaker.
Yeah.
You know I'm a Roman Reigns fan. Even when people were booing him, I was one of the few that was still cheering for him.
Yeah.
And Travis Scott, is one of the top young, this new school of hip hop. Ooh, this is tough. I mean, the dead man, his contributions, but let's not sell Roman short. He had like 4 WrestleManias in a row. Only one other person has done that. I think he's about to do his best work as a heel.
Yeah, true.
That's the thing. I think we haven't seen Roman Reigns' best work. But The Undertaker, his catalog, his matches, the Hell in a Cell, the influence. Man, I'm taking Taker and Future.
Ooh, Taker and Future. Oh, man. That's a good one right there. I'll take it.
Put the big dog to sleep.
Stephen, if you don't know, Kevin has Future in his top 5 rappers, believe it or not. So that's one of his favorite rappers right there. Steph, who you got in this one?
Just like Kevin, it's like you can't mention The Undertaker and not think about everything that he had ever done for the company and all of the above. Like everything he has ever done for wrestling, it's like he's like the measuring stick to a degree. But then you have Roman Reigns, who's probably the most polarizing out of the two in more recent years. But then I'm also definitely looking forward to everything that he's about to do with Paul Heyman, because this is just, I feel like him and Paul Heyman both are like they're like meat and potatoes. I said this in my last episode. They're like meat and potatoes put together, and it's not gonna do anything but fill us up and make us feel good inside. It's gonna be good. So, and when it comes to Future and Travis Scott, like I listen to Travis Scott before I listen to Future sometimes. And that's just how, like I respect anyone who loves Future and all of the above. But he's just not one of my favorites. So I'll definitely go with Roman Reigns and Travis Scott.
Ooh, that's a tough one. Roman Reigns and Travis Scott. Yeah. Let's see. I think you guys both made great points. I think Roman, he's gonna do some great stuff, and I think Undertaker, like you guys said, he's the measuring stick for all the wrestlers, and he was like that locker room leader, and of the '90s, the Attitude Era, the early 2000s, and I think Roman is kind of what the Undertaker was. I think Roman kind of fell into that role now of, he's the guy right now, and he's like the measuring stick for everybody right now. Travis Scott and Future, I'm kind of like the same way. I kind of edge it out to Travis Scott, just because I love Travis Scott. I think he's so creative and he does so many great things. So I think I'm gonna have to go Travis Scott and Roman Reigns on this one too, man. I gotta go against Taker.
The first upset. I think this is the first upset.
I gotta go against
the first upset was the number 1 seed had knocked out, but yeah, I think this is one of the.
Yeah, but hey, sorry, man. Undertaker, he has to go, man. Sorry. Travis Scott, Roman Reigns, I'm going with him on that one. All right, we're down to our final 4. We got Childish Gambino teamed up with Arn Anderson, taking on Nas and Randy Orton. So I'll go first on this one. Nas and Randy Orton, I gotta go with them, man. I love Childish Gambino. He's one of my favorite rappers. And Arn Anderson, the Enforcer, that's a team right there. But I think kind of just like Eminem and HBK team together, Nas and Randy Orton could win this whole thing. That's like you talking Randy Orton. But I always remember what JBL says. He says if you're building a wrestler from the ground up, it'd be Randy Orton, because he's the prototype for what a great wrestler is. And Nas, it's like, come on, that's Nas, man. One of the best lyricists of all time. Steph, who you got on this one?
I think Nas and Randy Orton. Simply because really you can't go wrong with Nas as a rapper.
Mm-hmm.
And as a storyteller. And then with Randy Orton, you can't really go wrong with him as a wrestler. And I feel like he might not. Now, Arn Anderson probably won't let him just beat him outright. That would be a fight, with him in prime. But I just feel like Randy Orton would definitely give him a little bit of a run for his money. So, and then when it comes to Childish Gambino, you can't really go wrong with Childish Gambino either, because he's just very creative and he just pulls lots of various things out of his bag. He's not just someone who's just going to stay in one lane. He's going to be like in all the lanes. So, so I'm going to choose Nas and Randy Orton.
Nas and Randy, got you. Kev, who you got on this one?
This is a clean sweep for me. I think, Nas is one of the greatest of all time. I love Childish Gambino. He's very creative, whether he's doing music, movies, or anything he wants to do. And Arn Anderson, one of the great four horsemen. But to me, I always see him as a tag team wrestler. I don't really see him as a singles guy. And the run that Randy Orton is on right now dwarfs everything he's done before. He's a legend killer with that 2.0 sadistic, the era of Orton when he had Cody and Ted DiBiase Jr. by his side.
Yeah.
He's got them both molded into one, and this new, he's revitalized again. He went from a great that who really wasn't doing much to the top heel, and it was like 15 years going. He's the top heel in the company still.
Yeah.
I'm going with Nas and Orton.
Got you. Clean sweep on that one. I'll take it. Definitely gotta love both of those guys for sure. We're taking next matchup. We got one. We got Big L teamed up with Andre the Giant, taking on Tyler the Creator and AJ Styles. It's a pretty interesting one right there. Big L and Andre the Giant taking on Tyler the Creator and AJ Styles. If I'm picking one, I'm gonna go Tyler the Creator and AJ Styles just because AJ Styles is my favorite wrestler, and I think he's for me, he's the greatest of all time. I love AJ. I think he's the best wrestler of all time, best wrestler today. He just gets better as he gets older. Him and Tyler the Creator, I think it's very interesting. He has a huge following. He actually puts out some pretty decent music if you actually give it a chance. His last album was actually pretty decent. A very unique sound. Big L, people, it's kind of like the same thing with Pop Smoke. He passed away too early. People always consider him to be one of the best rappers. And then Andre the Giant was like, he was the big man for that, the model of big men for everybody. But I'm going Tyler the Creator and AJ Styles on this one. Kev, who you got on this one?
I think just on sheer influence and what they were able to accomplish. Tyler Creator is very creative with his style. I think he rubs people the wrong way with certain things. AJ is the best wrestler on the planet right now, especially in WWE. I think he can have a 4 to 5 star match with anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, he's made. But how you go against Andre the Giant? That's the thing. Like Andre made Hulkamania possible. Andre made WWE possible. And he was ahead of his time with his personality and being that he traveled. He was, when wrestling was still a territorial thing, he traveled the world. He traveled to Japan. He performed, and he always sold out, and he always brought it. And Andre was that guy in the locker room that you could not step to. Unfortunately, same like possible, cut too soon. Never really got, what he put out was great, but we never got a full caliber. So I think that kind of sorry for taking up a lot of time. But I think for me, it's more of an influence thing. I mean, AJ Styles will go down as one of the best in-ring performers, but Andre the Giant, I mean, it's a big shadow to overcome. I'm going with Andre and Big L. That's on
Andre
that.
and Big. Yeah, I can't even go against you on that one. Steph, who you got in this one? Who you picking?
I'm picking Tyler the Creator and AJ Styles. Because I had, up until this point, I've never really heard anything that Big L has done. And as far as Andre, but that's not discounting anything he's done simply because I've never heard it. Like, I'm not going to be that disrespectful. And with Andre, you really can't go wrong with his influence either when it comes to big men, because without him, there's no Braun Strowman, there's no Big Show, all of that. But when it comes to more of an influence in rap and someone who's always going to be always left of center of what everybody else is doing, it's Tyler the Creator. He embodies that attitude. He's going to do whatever he wants to do when he wants to do it and say whatever he wants to say when he wants to say it. And that's just him. And when it comes to AJ Styles, he's sort of the same way, but that's only because he knows that he's the best, top to bottom. So I'm going to Tyler and AJ.
Got you. Yeah. So Tyler and AJ going on to the next round. We're down to our final two right here. We got Ricky the Dragon Steamboat teamed up with Nipsey Hussle, taking on the team of Biggie Smalls and Stone Cold Steve Austin. What a team that is right there. This matchup is pretty interesting, a pretty tough one. Ricky the Dragon and Nipsey Hussle, Biggie and Stone Cold. We'll go ladies first on this one. Steph, who you got on this one?
I think for this one, I'm going to choose Nipsey and Ricky. Simply because all the classics that I've seen Ricky, participate in, they were just all really good, especially him and Ric Flair. Like, they would always tear the house down with every match that they participated in. And then you have Nick, who was, as far as I know, before he passed away, his music, the more I listen to it, it's just like the more I listen to someone who had so much to offer.
Yeah. He
had so much to offer and so much storytelling to offer, and then not even just in rap, but also with his neighborhood. Like, there was so much he was influencing and nobody really knew it. And his rapping ability was just amazing to me. So I just feel like that stands a little bit above Biggie, even though people sort of look at Biggie as one of the greats to come out of New York and stuff. I just feel like Nipsey just probably stands just a little bit above Biggie to a certain degree in terms of ability. And Ricky the Dragon Steamboat would definitely, even though Stone Cold Steve Austin would give a bigger fight, like give a fight feel to it, he couldn't beat Ricky. So that's just how I feel about it. It's Ricky and Nipsey for me.
Got you. If I'm going on this one, this is a tough one. I think Biggie, like you said, he's one of the greatest of all time. And Stone Cold, I mean, he was like the face of the Attitude Era for sure. And then Ricky the Dragon, just like you said, those matches with Ric Flair were just amazing. He always had some great stuff. Matches with Sting as well. And then Nipsey Hussle, he did so much, and he influenced people in those urban areas to do stuff that they normally wouldn't think about, to think about finances, to think about eating right, to think about just all these things that, people in urban areas don't look at. That's why I just love him so much. Start businesses, all of that. He told everybody to do all that. If I gotta pick though, this is so tough. I think I'm gonna go Biggie and Stone Cold on this one, just because both of those guys, I feel like they were just the face of their own individual careers. You know what I mean? Just when you talk about rap, it's hard not to bring up Biggie. When you talk about wrestling, you can't not bring up Stone Cold Steve Austin. And I just think they were the face of their eras. So yeah, I'll give it to him. That was a tough one, but I'm gonna have to give it to Biggie and Stone Cold. We're gonna put the tiebreaker on Kevin. Who you going with, Kev?
My favorite rapper. Stone Cold is like, it's tough from the point of view, like, yeah, Nipsey brought a lot and very was a community, but come on, it's the Notorious B.I.G.
Yeah.
The man, his first album, from Ready to Die to Life After Death, and then him trying to go to Cali after Pac passed away to try to make peace and bridge the hip hop community together and get rid of that East Coast West Coast beef. Fortunately, it was taken from us too soon. And we are downplaying the influence of Stone Cold Steve Austin with his rivalries with The Rock, Vince McMahon, Bret Hart, the promo cutting Austin 316. People still wear those shirts. And he was talented in the ring. Him and Bret Hart pulled something that doesn't happen, where it's a double switch, where a heel goes face and a face goes heel in the same moment, in the same ring, in the same match. And that, it's Big against Stone Cold.
Against Stone Cold, all right. We got
Like, that's the team. I told you earlier, there's a team I think that has a real shot to win this, and I think it's this team.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. That's some big name power right there for sure. All right, so we got this is our last matchup right here. We got Drake teamed up with Goldust. As interesting a team that is. Drake and Goldust taking on DaBaby. This time is DaBaby, not Little Baby. DaBaby and Junkyard Dog. I'll go first on this one. I think I gotta go Drake and Goldust on this one. Goldust, he's still, Dustin Rhodes, he's still going right now to this day in AEW, and he's still putting on some pretty solid matches. I love Junkyard Dog as well. Just for what he meant to, black wrestlers and, trailblazing for them and, just leading the way so there could be guys like Booker T and, all the other guys that have come after Kofi Mania and stuff like that. DaBaby, I think, is great, but I think Drake is Drake, man. Drake is like our Michael Jackson, man. This dude, he does everything. He's like the leader of, he's like just pop, just rap, singing. He could do anything you want him to do, and he could kill it. So I'm gonna go Drake and Goldust on this one, and let's see. We'll go Kev on this one. We'll let Steph go last. Kev, who you got on this one?
For the record, I had a Junkyard Dog action figure when I was a kid. And he was a trailblazer, and you're right. Without him, there's no Booker, there's no Kofi, there's no Keith Lee. I can argue against Drake and Goldust as an interesting pair. I can see it working, and from Drake's influence, from everything he's done since he came out, DaBaby doesn't hold a candlelight to Drake. And from Goldust, he's still going, and he's doing it better than ever as on AEW. But his genius of evolving with the times and as a performer, from being a provocateur in the early to late 90s, having like a street fight with Roddy Piper at WrestleMania, to teaming with R-Truth and Booker T, to now working just as Dustin Rhodes. Yeah, I'm going with Drake and Goldust.
Got you. Steph, you get to close us out on this one. You going, is it a clean sweep with Drake and Goldust, or you going DaBaby and Junkyard Dog?
Use Drake and Goldust, because you just can't really go wrong with the influences that they've been able to make. They're just too strong. And that's no disrespect to DaBaby, because there's still so much that DaBaby has to do. He's still sort of finding his way, but that's not to say that what he has done so far isn't good. He just still has more to do, whereas Drake started kind of like a little bit earlier way earlier than DaBaby. Mm-hmm. And everything he's been able to do is just influence so much of rap and pop as a whole. So Yeah. And then when it comes to Goldust, you know, he comes from that Rhodes family dynasty. And he was just, you know, he was always the one who was just drastically different in terms of his character. And like you said, Derek, he's still out here in these wrestling streets doing AEW stuff with his brother. So I have to, and no disrespect to Junkyard Dog and his contributions, but I'm going to choose Drake and Goldust.
Yeah, can't argue with you on that one. Oh, man. So you see how we closed out the first round. This is a very long first round, and we got through a very interesting first round. I definitely appreciate, you know, both of you guys' viewpoints on everything and, you know, being a part of this and helping me get through this first round. And I think it was great. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope everybody that's watching and listening enjoyed it as well. We definitely, before we close out, you know, we're gonna do some promos, and Steph, you can plug your stuff. Tell the fans where they can find you, where they can find your show at, how they can listen, and all that good stuff.
Okay, so I'm the host of the Hardy Podcast. You can listen to me on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and on YouTube. You know, anywhere you can get your podcast, you can listen to me. You can follow me on Instagram at Hardy Wrestling Podcast and follow me on Twitter at Hardy Wrestle Pod. I have a new episode out now called Celebrate All the Stars, and I will have a new episode next week. It'll be my 25th episode with an interview with Promise Braxton. So you can check that.
Awesome. Steph always doing great stuff on her show. You definitely should check it out. Definitely give her a follow, and you know, definitely show some support to her for sure. Kev, for you, if people want to connect with you, how can they find you?
I'm on Instagram at that Kevin, not this Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
Follow me on that, or at start_a_tab. Follow me on Twitter at kramirez87. You know, been trying to work. You know, happy to be working on Rap and Wrestling and continue to give my contributions to this channel. And I look forward to getting more involved and definitely giving a follow to Steph and her podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah. You can listen to my old episodes on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, on Stitcher.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely another show you should check out for sure. If you love those movies, you love those comics, Marvel, all that good stuff. Definitely a great show from Kev, one of my favorites that I'd like to listen to as well. Definitely want to thank both of you guys for coming on. We got through the thick of it, so we cut out a big chunk of it. So hopefully, you know, next time you guys can join me, and you know, we'll cut this down. We'll get this out the way a little later on. We'll let this simmer, and then you know, we'll finish up this tournament for sure. But yeah, just like I said, thank you guys. I appreciate it. As for us, this is Rap and Wrestle. You can follow us at Rap and Wrestle, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff, on iTunes, on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like it. Check us out. Got a lot of great episodes out. We just got through the first 5 episodes. A lot of great stuff in there. Happy to have you guys a part of this. And thank you. Just check us out. And as for this episode, we are all out of here.